The following video is sponsored by VTOMAN. This right here is the most affordable battery station that I've covered in the channel that has a decent output to it. So wattage-wise, it can output from the AC ports on this 2,200 watts, which is decent. So you can boil water, you can run pretty much most of your household appliances, power tools and whatnot with this, which is great. Solar input of 400 watts and a capacity of 1,548 watt hours. However, if you want, you can add to the Jump 2200 this model right here, which is an expandable battery. It's the Jump 1500. So we basically double the capacity, bringing it up then to 3,096 watt hours. Both of these units right here, they are using LFP cells, so they're good for 3,000 cycles, and they've got a shelf life of around about 10 years before the capacity of them is dropping down to about 80%, which is good. So in this video, I'll be testing them out. I'll run through what kind of things we could run with this, just to give you some examples. I'll show you what the fan noise is like because they are actively cooled. It does have a life battery management system in this, a life BMS, which is constantly monitoring the temperatures, actively cooled, so it'll turn on the fans if needed, over volt protection, overload protection. We'll test that in the video, and even the solar charging because they did send out their 400 watt portable solar panel for me to test.
Included with that Jump 2200, we get these little stickers here. Maybe you want to put one of these on your caravan or your RV or something. Who knows? So people then know what is powering the whole thing. There's a little pouch, and that is where you'll find the power supply. So we have our barrel connector for that. We've got the AC plug, and the output of this is 330 watts. We get a DC barrel connector to the car accessory plug there, and they do include some other cables here. So some type A to type C, and then type C to type C cable, which is handy to have. Finally, there is a user manual, and this right here, just some tips there about it.
So capacity of this unit right here, as I mentioned there in the intro, it's 1,548 watt hours, but with the additional battery on the side, you can double that to the 3,096 watt hours. So we have a jumper cable here if you needed to jump start a car, then you've got that option there. It's an accessory. This is where you plug in the expandable batteries right there to the Jump 2200. And we've got our 3 AC outlets right here. So they're to 230 volts, and we've got the 2,200 watts. But it can peak at 4,400, but only for very short periods, and I'll be testing that later. Now we have our DC side of things here too. So we've got the USB. So when you press here, that turns it on and off, and this is for AC. And you've got the Type-C ports. Now they do support power delivery, and they're 100 watts, both of those. So that is very good output there. Then we've got the Type-A ports. Now 3 of them are just 5 volts, 2.4 amps. But this one right here does support quick charge 3, and that's 12 watts maximum. And then we have the car outlet, 120 watts with some DC barrel outlets as well. And then this is the input here for charging. So 12 volts to 60 volts is what it does support there. For the solar charging, that's up to 400 watts and 400 watts for the AC charging too as well. And that is all done from there. So it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, we have a color scheme here that it certainly stands out with the orange, and it got a nice solid handle on it as well. And it's 17.5 kilos. So lifting it and moving it about isn't bad compared to some of the other power stations I've covered. Now it is fan cooled, so there's some active cooling inside this. There's a fan, that is the intake. So left and right are the intake, and we have exit vents there, and it's stating the wattage right here, the 2,200 watts. The back of it, I like this idea, how they've got this very powerful LED strip built into it. Now there's this button here that controls the brightness. You've got 3 levels. It has SOS and a strobe feature too. So it's going to be perfect for people that go camping, RV owners, and perhaps maybe even using this in a tent. It's always practical and great to have, I think, a powerful built-in LED light within a power station. Now the back does list all of the specs of it. So we are using those, as I mentioned now in the start there, the LFP battery cells. So good for 3,000 cycles before they drop down to about 80% capacity, and around a 10-year shelf life with them. So they're the best cells to have in a battery station. So this is our extra battery capacity that you can add to it. So you double your capacity, you take it from the 1548 watt hours to then the 3096 watt hours. And if you need that, when you've got that option there. Now, the only thing is that you can't sit them on top of each other. It's one thing, because of the design of the handle, it's simply not possible. You have to put them side by side. So that's one restriction. Now there's this battery gauge here at the front, and it's very clear. You tap this and it will tell you with these blue LEDs, although on camera it probably looks a little bit white at the moment. So I can see it's fully charged at 100%, and just under this little rubber gasket at the front there, that's where we have the connector cable which plugs into it. So this is really just like the Jump 2200. The only difference is it doesn't have the AC outlets and the DC outlets. So that side of things is not part of it, of course, but the same sturdy handle, nice plastics that have a good finish to them. They're like an ABS style plastic. And then the vents either side of it. It's using the Life BMS system too as well, and the same LFP battery cells. And that's them there side by side. So what does that cable look like? Well, this is it here. Now it is made out of a high quality, the materials they've used in it, and it's a nice thick gauge cable. So that simply plugs into both of the units. So just like so, the battery extension plug on the front and on the other side. The only thing, like I said, is it's just a shame that we can't stack these batteries. One on top of the other would be nice. You have to have them either to the left or the right side. Then we have this here, which is the VTOMAN. This is the VS400 solar panel, and it's the most powerful solar panel, portable one, that I've come across ever and covered in the channel. 400 watts is its peak, and that is the peak of my solid fixed solar panels. That's pretty impressive for a foldable, portable solar panel. The cable management, you can see, is pretty good here. So the standard solar connectors, they clip into where the handle area is, and then you wind the cables around the plastic here. So there's a bit of a gap, and this is quite good. That keeps it nice and tidy. Inside this power chair is where you will find our cables that it comes with. So a brilliant day here to be testing out those 400 watt solar panels. It's 38 degrees, very hot summer here, and just after 1 p.m. So the sun is directly above me in an ideal position. And even my assistant Vera's finding it just a bit too hot to be doing this kind of work. So the build quality of this portable panel is very good. The materials it's made out of, it is water resistant, so it can be out in the rain. It's not going to be a problem at all. And we've got these 3 legs that do prop it up and support it. And I simply have it angled up towards the sun, the best possible angle I can get. And we'll take a look at what kind of charging rate we get from this 400 watt portable panel. Now, when you're doing this, it's highly recommended and a must really to keep these batteries in the shade. You don't want them overheating. And I've connected up, it's the barrel connector here. So we've got a maximum solar input of 400 watts, and it's currently reporting that it has 78% battery. So we're charging currently at 315 watts. That's not bad at all. Now, I could optimize the angle of the panels a little bit more to squeeze out a possible 10, 15, 20 watts more maybe. It's telling me now it's 0.8 hours to top it off completely to 100%, and that is both of the batteries. So the charging time is about 4 hours from completely flat. So it's the same if it's at around the 400 watts that is, but we're a bit less than that. So ideally, this is probably going to be about 5.5 hours to fully charge if it was flat. Now, this is going to be handy for people on a job site that doesn't have any power yet, because with the Jump 2200, of course, we've got that 2200 watts. So you can run something like a power tool here, a drill. Now, it'll give me 5 hours, just over 5 hours of this drill. And if I did add the other expandable battery, that's going to double my capacity then. That would then be about 10 hours, and it works absolutely fine. So not a problem to run any of your tools as long as they're under the 2200 watts. As you can see, they're not a problem to power a power drill. And now for my demanding EV charging test. So just imagine I completely ran out of battery with this EV, that it was 0%, it wouldn't turn on. Well, I could bring the Jump 2200 along and get almost 3 kilowatts. That might be enough of a charge to get me to the nearest charging station. So I have a wall box that I've got it plugged into, and I'm going to set a relatively, well, low, just under that 2200 watt limit, and we'll see if it's able to charge this EV in the case of an emergency. All right, so that charge has started. It's working, the LED and the little confirmation beep from the car. Let's take a look at what it's saying on the screen of the Jump 2200. All right, so on the screen, it's charging at about 1500 watts, and that is an 8 amp limit I set with the wall box. I tried to set 10, 11, but it would spike over 2200 watts, and it wasn't happy. So it would trip the BMS, which is that battery management system. The safety's in there. It wasn't happy with me just using a little bit too much wattage there. So you can clearly see that I have the Jump 2200 and the Jump 1500 plugged in here, and that's the wall box charging our EV. So this would only be good if you had a completely dead battery. It would give you that emergency top up of just under 3 kilowatts with the expansion battery. The total capacity we have there just over the 3000 watt hours. And that's not that much, but it could give me with this EV around about a 10-kilometer range. Now, one of the things I like to do with these portable battery stations is bring them to something like near the car when you need to vacuum it out. And that way you don't need to run extension cords. And if you don't have a power outlet that's close to, say, the area where you need to be, then you just bring that along. And it's going to run this vacuum right here. Absolutely no problems, because this is only around about a peak of 1000 watts, runs at about 800. And with just the Jump 2200 here, that's going to give me a runtime of around about 1.8 hours, which is very good. That's enough to clean quite a few cars and vacuum out their interiors. Then a line trimmer like this is going to be great with it, because I just simply move around. It's only 17.5 kilos, so it's not too hard for me to move this about, and I don't need such a long extension lead here with this Bosch line trimmer, which of course is going to work again just fine. This uses about, I think off the top of my head, about 600 watts, so all good, well within the limits here. And normally running a lower powered tool like this, you don't hear the fan come on. It's only when it does something really demanding. Now here's a test that I hope it's going to pass, and that is, will it be able to boil water? This is one thing I think is very basic but important, and so many other power stations fail, but 2200 watts means it will be able to do this. I'm pretty confident. So let's start to boil water here. I need to turn, of course, AC on, and I can hear that fan straight away kick in, and I can see it's pulling. There we go, just under 2000. It spiked at 2000 watts. It's down to 1600, bouncing around a little bit there, but it's steadying out, and it's telling me that it'll be able to do this for about 2.5 hours. But yes, that water is eventually going to boil there. Now I want to test out a hairdryer. Run the hairdryer. Peaking at 2000, but I can see it throttled down a bit. It's picked up again, and that's about 1500 watts at the moment. Great, so it can run the hairdryer and it can boil water, but I know it can't do them both at the same time. That's simply too much. Now we've got a peak of 4400 watts. So what I'm going to do is test the BMS. So the battery management system there, the life battery management system, they call it, will kick in with the overload protection. And it's throttled right down. You can hear that that hairdryer's RPM is way down. In fact, hasn't turned off. Hasn't kicked in just yet. Okay, but I do know eventually it will kick in. So that boost, it's for a split second. It throttles itself down to protect itself from overheating. And the life BMS is over voltage protection, temperature protection. So it's a safe unit here. It's going to be always testing that. Just like other battery banks, it's an important feature too as well for safety. You don't want them overheating when they're charging. Now, speaking of charging, if you're charging at the same time and using a high demand appliance, well, it will be doing some pass-through power to the AC sockets. So you can do both at the same time, depending on what kind of wattage you're pulling. So that fan that's keeping it all cool, the internals, the active cooling, you certainly hear it when it comes on. So if you do anything demanding, the fan will kick in. And sometimes if it's been idle for a while and it's warm, it will kick in and then eventually turn itself off once it gets down to what it feels are temperatures that it doesn't need to have any fan on. So what I'll do is put some load on it again, and I'll give you a fan noise sample so you know what to expect. It is reasonably loud. It's certainly not the quietest I've heard. Now, when it comes to pricing, this is just me looking on the internet at the time of this video. The Jump 2200, it's selling for just under 600 euros, around about, say, 575 euros I've seen it for, which I think is a fair price, considering you're getting LFP battery cells, you've got the 2200 watts, and you've got a decent 1548 watt-hour capacity with it. This then, the additional battery you can add to it, the Jump 1500, well, I've seen that one for about 415 euros. So again, I think they're very fairly priced here and the most affordable that I have covered in the channel. So if you are someone that has an RV, you've got a camper, or you go camping and you want the kind of basics that this model offers here with its outputs, the kind of wattage, DC side of things is good. Good to see the car outlet there. The last model I covered didn't even have that. You had to buy an additional accessory for that, which is good to see here. And you've got the power delivery support up to 100 watts from those two Type-C ports. The Type-A is there. So you've got pretty much everything, but it doesn't have wireless charging with it. Now, as I showed you, when you connect up the additional battery, unfortunately, when you plug them in with the cable, you can't actually stack them on top of each other, which I would have liked. They have to be side by side. I mean, you've got a bit of flexibility. You can move them about, but ideally, I would have liked to have seen them to have like a modular design where you could stack them. But because they've got the solid handle on them, that is just not possible for us to stack them at all. Now, weight-wise, they're about 38 pounds, if your measurement is pounds there, which is 17.5 kilos. It means they're manageable. I wouldn't call them light, but they're manageable because some of the other power stations I've been looking at have been 27 kilos. Very heavy and a bit difficult to move about, so there's a lot more manageable, which I do like that from them. Now, the fan, you do hear it. So if you decide to boil water, you're going to be doing some solar charging and it reaches, say, 300, 400 or 350 watts. The fans will kick in, the fan will kick in, and you do hear it. It is reasonably loud there. That is one little downside to it. It's not the quietest system, as I mentioned, that I have tested out. But otherwise, I think for the price tag, and you're looking for an affordable but powerful solution here with expandability, then this is one to take a look at definitely. The VTOMAN Jump 2200, and then the expandable, well, the Jump 2200 is this one, and then our expandable Jump 1500. Thanks a lot for watching this video.